Hello, everyone. My name is Aidan Rodriguez, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Ionavation podcast.
I'm Alexander, your co-host.
And our topic for today is just navigating the future of entrepreneurship for the upcoming year of 2025, well, which is technically this year. So, with that being said, how do you think technology is going to shape the future of entrepreneurship this year?
Well, technology has already shaped so much of our present that when thinking about the future, like just how far can it go?
Yeah.
When looking about AI, we have ChatGPT, which already is taking everything by storm,
Yeah.
and it's just so useful doing like everything.
Mhm.
It could take data-driven insights, look at data, chatbots,
Yeah.
like it does anything you need it to do. So I think more of that, making that more effective, more efficient, is going to be happening. I also think blockchain, which is just external storage. So when looking like at data, you have like streams, and then blockchain is just like an external storage of that.
Yeah.
Which is just like through like the internet. And I think that is going to be coming into play.
Yeah.
I think it's the usefulness of it
Mm.
and its implications are too high for it to not be used.
Yeah. Going back to your point on like AI being able to get those data-driven insights, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are going to be using AI to get exactly what the customer wants for their business, and I feel like that's how entrepreneurs are going to be able to succeed, because now with AI, you have artificial intelligence that feeds off of the information that people are giving based on the feedback that they're giving the business that the entrepreneur runs. So I feel like with that, if all goes well, then any entrepreneur will take that data and eventually give the people what they want, so that way they can ultimately succeed.
Something that I'm always told in my classes is that personalization is the key, right? People don't want something generic, especially us. We want something that feels like more authentic.
Yeah.
So when even like looking at ads, right, on your computer, you get ads that are targeted for you.
Yeah.
Like TikTok or Instagram, you have a for you page.
Exactly.
Right? So like getting that personalization is definitely gonna like have success.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of sort of like a business model in a certain light, don't you think? Like, because obviously, like, there's Instagram Shop, there's TikTok Shop, and I find it interesting that like the algorithm based on like whatever you like on social media points you into the right direction of entrepreneurs who are selling their products that the algorithm might think that you like. So that's a perfect example of data-driven insights with the utilization of AI, because that's essentially how it's done. So,
Yeah, and with the, like new technologies, like let's say you don't know how to make a business model, right? You could just be like, hey, I have this business idea, create a business model, and there you go.
yeah.
I think starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur has become like now is the best time to become one.
Mhm. So my question to you now is, who do you think is leading the use of technology for entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting trend because entrepreneurs are just becoming younger and younger.
Yeah.
Before it was 25 to 30-year-olds, and now it's 18 to like 24-year-olds.
Yeah, it's crazy because like before you had to just work for so long, like you had to finish school, you had to go through all these obstacles to become a well-established entrepreneur. And now you see the average age of entrepreneurs in 2025, it's around 18 to 24. Like a lot of students, a lot of kids that age, they they choose their own path. And that's what we're seeing in this generation of entrepreneurs.
I'm gonna hit you with this fact because I think this is kind of crazy. Did you know that there are 1,700 millionaires created every single day?
No, I didn't. That's crazy.
That's insane.
That just goes to show you that like the money that can be made. Like honestly, I feel like at that point, there's no reason for you to be broke. There's no reason for you to be broke. And no, like genuine
Yeah, no.
because people are working from that young and building themselves up, and it's working. And the influence that young people have is showing because you're seeing more and more of it every single day.
So I guess my question is with so many young entrepreneurs, because they're so young, they might be a little naive.
Mhm.
They might not really have the right like path, right? They're just figuring it out. So what does the mentorship space look like for young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I feel that there's a lot more demand for it. I feel like that's another entrepreneurial lane that people can go in is just being a mentor. Sure, they might be older, but now it's like a new way of business that, you know, that's why you have consulting businesses. That's why you have just individual mentors who, like they charge or like they have relationships with these younger entrepreneurs and they're just giving you advice based on their own experiences. And I feel like the more you're able to influence the youth, the younger and younger the successful entrepreneur that is going to come about. So
Hmm.
I feel like the mentorship space is in a really good place right now because a lot of these young entrepreneurs need that guidance. And because without it, then they won't be able to build themselves up and they'll just be stuck for a while. And then that's why in previous years, you had entrepreneurs like older, like
Hmm.
between the ages of 25 to 30, because they didn't have that guidance because they had to figure it out more so on their own. So, yeah,
Hmm.
that's like I feel the best. I feel mentorship is just as growing as the rise of young entrepreneurs. So, with that, I just feel like with the advice that is given from these mentors and leaders that the entrepreneurs of today's day and age are going to, I feel like it allows them to be able to adapt easier to whatever new technologies that are coming out with AI, with blockchain, etc., and couple that with the advice that they're getting from their mentors. And I feel like that's how they're going to be able to adapt quicker to certain situations.
So you mentioned it a little bit towards the end of your statement about adaptability.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key when looking towards the future.
Hmm.
Because we mentioned topics that we expect to grow and change and be a big influence. But overall, the future is, well, the future. Hasn't happened yet. It's unexpected. We don't really know for sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think adaptability is key for entrepreneurs and for us, especially.
Hmm. Yeah. I feel like the younger generation of entrepreneurs with technology and the advice that they're getting from mentors are going to be able to learn that skill of adaptability and be able to pivot in the situations and circumstances that they may be encountering in their entrepreneurial journey. So I feel that the wave of young entrepreneurs is only going to stay. If anything, it might entrepreneurs might get even younger. Who knows? Right?
Like I expect that number with 1,700 of millionaires to definitely go up.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe even like 2,000 entrepreneurs every day, which
Mhm.
is insane.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like I agree with what you said about like entrepreneurs becoming younger. And I also think about like the future that older entrepreneurs are gonna look more to the younger ones.
Yeah.
And the world is just like ever changing
Yeah, they're
with
adapting
yeah.
themselves. The older generation is also adapting. Entrepreneurs in general, they always have to stay adapting. They have to have that entrepreneurial mindset, always be able to pivot. Like right now, you see that the older generation of entrepreneurs are looking to fill in that mentorship role that they could probably
Hmm.
profit off of. So it's just like little things like that that you need to be able to like take advantage of those opportunities and be able to, seize the moment.
So I think we did an amazing job at covering our expectations of what we expect for the future.
For sure.
But I think here at the Hynes Institute, with the Iona Innovation Challenge, we actually have a program that covers all three topics, surprisingly enough. So we, for young students who want to get mentored, um, and want in this world that you have to adapt to survive in.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great program for students to be able to learn what it is to be an entrepreneur and get that guidance that most entrepreneurs, especially at the age that they are now, need. So hopefully students will come at our kickoff February 7th. And that is our episode of this week's Ionavation podcast. So I've been your host, Aidan Rodriguez.
I've been your co-host, Alexander Garces.
Thank you guys for watching.
See you later.